Now, Roos spent a lot of his time cross-examining Colonel Vermeulen about police evidence that was apparently tampered with. Parts of the door went missing and the door was scuffed by police officers. Now, this is the first time that police officers have gotten in the way. In fact, investigating officer Hilton Botha was relieved of his duties for something similar. Can you explain what happened to Hilton Botha?
Well, Hilton Botha was the first investigating officer, and he arrived on the scene, according to him, at around 4:15 that Valentine's Day morning, which would have been about an hour after the shooting. But this wasn't the first time that he had been called to Oscar Pistorius' house before. During the bail hearing, it emerged that there had been an incident at Oscar's house back in 2009, where a young lady by the name of Cassidy Taylor Memory had alleged that Oscar, in anger, had slammed the door on her foot so badly that it had injured her ankle. An assault charge was laid, and Oscar landed up in the Boschkop holding cells that night. However, the charge wasn't pursued. It was later dropped. That only emerged through astute questioning by the presiding magistrate at the time, Magistrate Naya, because it hadn't been raised in the bail hearing at all until then. And it seemed like it came as a surprise also to the prosecutor, Gerrie Nel, because he said to Botha, "Are you telling me that you knew the accused from before, and in that instance you didn't press charges against him?" And Botha admitted that that was the case. In addition, Botha admitted that police had allowed a memory stick with which allegedly contained details of Oscar's offshore accounts to be removed from the house that night. They'd also allowed unlicensed ammunition to leave the house that night. They hadn't discovered a projectile in the toilet bowl. And Botha admitted that he had entered the scene without foot covers. So the defense made a meal of that, suggesting that the scene had been contaminated. However, I listened to an radio interview yesterday with Cliff Alexander, the lawyer, and he suggested that it's not common practice for South African police to wear such protective coverings at crime scenes. And he made the point that, after all, it was Oscar himself who had first contaminated the crime scene by moving Reva out of the toilet and down the stairs. The magistrate also found that police had misplaced Oscar's first urine sample, that the testosterone found in the house wasn't indeed testosterone at all, that they hadn't discovered or hadn't collected all the cell phones that were on the scene, and that they hadn't done enough to look into any prior charges against Oscar or violent tendencies. So by the end, well, before the end of the bail hearing, Hilton Botha was off the case, after it emerged that he had 7 counts of attempted murder against him.